Come and shine in Blascon Paint and win the Twake edition. Buy Blascon Paint worth 100,000 shillings. Get a scratch card and SMS the code to 7197. Not only will you win instant airtime, but you could take home 1 million shillings daily, a share of 4 million shillings each week, or a brand new motorbike with fuel worth 100,000 shillings. Terms and conditions apply. Blascon, color your world.
The Journey program on UBC TV.
Hello viewers, my name is Ashaul Sonowere. I'm the Chief Labor Affairs External Labor Powerhouse. External Labor Powerhouse is a well-organized workers' organization which is supposed to look at all the workers who are externally employed, especially those who are migrant workers, whether in Uganda or those who are externally doing labor in other countries. And the aim and objective is to ensure that they have decent work, we have social protection, and ensure that these workers have job security. External Labor Powerhouse came about especially when we saw that there was a lot of exploitation of workers who actually contribute a lot in our economy and are working both in Uganda and outside Uganda. There was a lot of exploitation in a way that people who are taken out to work out of this country. There are so many labor organizations that recruit them. And those organizations, some of them are registered, others are not registered. Now, their rights are being trampled on. Some of them are trafficked. Some of them go through normal ways. But even when they reach there, they face a lot of problems. Now, internally here, we also have a problem that there are so many mushrooming agencies that are not well organized, and everybody claims to be working for migrant workers. Others are doing their own things. Others actually abet trafficking. So as the leaders, we sat down and said, no, we must create order. There must be a way how we can operate, because the externalization of labor brings a lot of money in the country, jobs. Because here we don't have, we have very few jobs. You see now the government is struggling to create jobs here and there, but jobs out there are many, especially in the areas of, let me say, Middle East and other places like Germany. But because we wanted to reorganize this sector, ensure that the employment organizations, the recruitment agencies, the training agencies, the migrant workers associations themselves, and other players in this sector, we work together under the externalization of it. When you leave Uganda and you are traveling to a certain country, we want now to monitor you. At time of recruitment, time of transit, departure, the destination where you are going to work. We are still facing challenges the other side, whereby especially those Middle East, where the culture is still. Then we also have a challenge with our own people, that sometimes they are duped into being trafficked. Now, when they are trafficked, they find themselves out there crying. Then we also have another challenge where there are some Ugandans also out there who also go and remove these people from the houses and take them in a different ways to do other things. Then we also have a challenge of, there was also a challenge of people who are trying to use these migrant workers to do things which are not okay, like drug trafficking was also a problem, but that one is now being handled. The government of Uganda and ourselves, we are working together, first of all, to create awareness among our people who are intending to go out for any job. Then we have associations that are also working closely with us, like CHEO, Migrant Workers Associations, the recruitment agencies. We try to work together. Then we have organizations like Organization of International Migration, IMO. They are also working around the clock to try to bring us together. So this has worked for us, and that's why you see that the cry has reduced, and we are trying to improve it even further. What we are now trying to do is to improve. There has been a collaborative efforts by, we have people like the ambassador, or our ambassador, who is also a presidential advisor, who has been traversing Walusimbi, who has been traversing Middle East with our Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development, trying to see how we can create a system, both here to collaborate with the other system. And then we are also going to go in, whereby, like I have told I'm trying to highlight that we need a system where when you leave Uganda, you are going to work for Abudu in Dubai or in Qatar or in Oman. We have a system that follows these trends until you reach your destination, until you are in that house. First of all, the Ugandan should know that when you are traveling to go out and work in any country, pass through Ministry of Labor, Gender and Social Development. We have recruitment agencies which are registered, which is supposed to take that role of making sure that you are recruited and safe. And once you are recruited by these agencies, we are now saying you must be trained. There has been a training of 2 weeks, then you are taken. But now we are saying there must be adequate basic training. And we are also trying to change from just taking house girls, housemaids, and so on. We want now professionalize these trainings, where you go out, you first go through a system. We know that you are going to Saudi Arabia, you know the culture of those people, how they behave, their laws. Whatever you do, you do it within the what? The laws. And then what is still bothering or a challenge is their system, the law, the kafala and so on, which is unchangeable. But we need that is now a diplomatic role of Minister of Foreign Affairs to work out a diplomatic way on how these laws can be actually married with ours, so that when you leave this place, you are able to be monitored from the other side. The biggest challenge now is the other side, where these workers face a lot of challenges. But through training, proper empowerment at the training centers, this will reduce. And that's what we want. Because we want to see how we can make this work, their work, decent. Both here, because we also have migrant workers who are working here. We have Somalis, we have Sudanese, we have Indians, we have Pakistanis. All we consider them as what? Migrant workers. But we are also concentrating both inside here and the other side. Inside here, we are now trying to put things in a very formal way so that they are not scattered and we have record of people who are working. You know, we started this when Biden was still the president. We are now trying to get in touch with the embassy and see how we can expedite this payment to all those Ugandans who actually sacrificed and worked for US in Iraq and other countries. So we are doing it in a way that it should not, they should be paid. There are those people who are already being paid because those who had who had accidents and so on, those ones are doing claims through insurance and so on. But there are those who are now claiming some money. And I know Trump's administration will be able to cater for them.
The Johnny program on UBC TV is brought to you by Blascon. Color your world.
Come and shine in Blascon Paint and win the Twake edition. Buy Blascon Paint worth 100,000 shillings. Get a scratch card and SMS the code to 7197. Not only will you win instant airtime, but you could take home 1 million shillings daily, a share of 4 million shillings each week, or a brand new motorbike with fuel worth 100,000 shillings. Terms and conditions apply. Blascon, color your world.
The Johnny program on UBC TV.
First of all, Labor Day is the day when we commemorate our forefathers, those who started the issue of fighting for rights of labor. In 1900, I think, in somewhere in America, where people were used as slaves and so on, then there was a revolution among the workers and say, no, from today, we are not going to allow this kind of things to happen. So we are commemorating the history, the achievements of our forefathers. And not only that, Labor Day is a day when issues of workers are put on table to be addressed by the relevant authorities. First of all, you know very well that one of the things that we have achieved was the ensuring that NSSF our money is safe. Secondly, you have seen that we now have, if you clock 45 years, and you have worked for 10 years, you now get what? Your 20%. Now, when you reach your retirement, you get the money. But we are still trying to see how that can even improve further. And also including people who are not, those who are not actually formally working, informal sector, whereby they can also now start saving. You can even go today and save with the NSSF daily, like any other bank. And these are some of the things that can improve further. Now, the challenge we have is there are so many workers who are not in the union. The union is the one supposed to be the vanguard of workers to monitor their rights, to ensure that they negotiate for their rights and so on. But most of the challenge we have is that most of our workers don't know their rights. And there are very few who are in the union. Now, Labor Powerhouse, we are now embarking on education of workers, trying to see that we inform them about the unions that are supposed to fight for their rights. We encourage them to join the union. Those who are not in the union, when they have problems, they come to us and we sort their problems out. You have seen there was a merger in the country recently, where UNRWA was taken back to the ministry. Meteorology was also taken back to the ministry and other organizations. But you find that most of these organizations were not in the union. So they came to Powerhouse to try to help them. I had a very good time with the Minister of Public Service, Honorable Mururu Mukasa, and I want to thank him. And I want to thank the President for putting an elder who is actually a listener, because I was worried when the merger started. It was very, very difficult. But the way it is being handled, I'm happy. Recently, you saw meteorology. They wanted to go on strike. And I came in handy with the General Secretary, Brother Zizi, and his chairman. We went to the minister, had a very good discussion, and those people were paid their emoluments. These are some of the things that Powerhouse is trying to fill the gaps. Where unions are not, the Powerhouse is there to guide and tell these people, no, you're a worker, you're entitled for this. If you have a problem, go to this place and find yourself fitting there, especially guiding them on how they can join the union. Right now, there's something that we are working on, we are studying. Let me give you now a scenario. There are arts teachers, let me say the human resource people, humanity. Most of them, the government increased salary for scientists. And you remember in 2022, I had interaction with the president in Kololo. And I told him, you see, you have given science money, but how about this, the humanity? And they said, no, wait, we are going also to look after them. Now I'm just going to remind His Excellency the President that it is time. These people have overweighted. Let him now start thinking about what? Giving these other people also money. I know he's struggling to get money for PDM and other, but the Baganda have a saying, ono alia, no na alia, yemere kolachi. That's yemere genda. Simply meaning, when we are all eating, the food flows well, very well. It's not good to give others food and you leave others. Then when you come to government workers, most of them, especially officer tenants, that's the research we are doing. Imagine officer tenant, they are giving him or her 500 shillings. That is for transport. Which transport is there for 500? A lunch, 500 shillings. Is there any lunch for 500? There's nothing. Transport, I mean housing, they are giving them 50,000. Where can you get a house of 50,000 for these tenants and so on? Let me say the temporary workers in the government, including the drivers and so on. So these are people who are many, government should now, like they have done to the army. The army is now, they are gradually giving them some money. Now I want government to start with these lower cadres and give them some money. Increase this transport from 5 shillings to maybe 10 or 20. Minimum wage is a basic pay which is supposed to be given to people like the ones I've mentioned. Those who are not in that bracket of Now, that minimum wage was passed. We struggled, actually, we pushed it in 2019. No, it was the 10th Parliament. We pushed minimum wage up to a time when it was passed that bill was passed. It was taken to the president. And I think there was confusion between the Minister of Labor and the said that we have adequate law and so on, which I think, which is not there. But there has been a saying by His Excellency the President that he wants to see more people getting employment. But time has come when we need to have a fixed pay, minimum wage. It will also help government because government has not seen that area. And what we are looking for is not per se that minimum wage should be maybe 300,000 across the board. No, we are saying let it be sector by sector. You have agriculture, you have education, you have and so on. So that, but here now you see the salary disparity has created a very big gap, which must be bridged. I was telling you about that the attendance. How do you give somebody 5 shillings? 5 shillings, what does 5 shillings like this buy anything in Uganda today? Nothing. So you increase for them their lunch allowance, give them transport, give them food, and give them housing. The future of Powerhouse is very bright because Powerhouse supplements to government efforts in ensuring that we strengthened the labor industry, both external and internal. We also want to have a good working relationship between the government, the workers, and also bridge that gap between the workers and the government, and bring the union to negotiate properly with the employers and the government. And we are going to monitor and see where there is a problem, we come out and say, here, things are not working well. We are also planning to have what we call lawyers, the pro bono lawyers, who are helping our people. Because most of the workers don't have money for legal representation. Those are some of the things that we are trying to work out to see that we do it. Then there's another thing that we have seen. We want to see how we can work out with the National Social Security Fund. Because when you look at these security firms, there are over 300 security firms. But the condition of these workers are not good. They are paid very low salary. They give very critical security for businesses. Now, we would like to work with the employers and the NSSF to see how we can improve their welfare, especially when we are talking about health, because these people are the ones who guard outside. They are bitten by mosquito, but you find that they don't have health insurance. Now, why can't we work out with the employer and the NSSF? Because these are members of NSSF. NSSF should tailor some project, let me say some incentive, like national social insurance, so that we are able to tap from them. This Labor Day, first of all, I want, to wish all workers of Uganda a happy International Labor Day. I also want to wish the government, the employers, to work very hard to improve the working condition of workers. My appeal to the labor unions, let them be more active, proactive, to ensure that the workers in the country join the union. They should negotiate for the union. We should have more members in the union. Now, workers who are not yet affiliated to any union, where you have a problem, external labor powerhouse is there to work with you. The telephone is, you can get me on 0772 468667.
The Journey program on UBC TV is brought to you by Blascon, Color Your World.
Come and shine in Blascon Paint and win the Twake edition. Buy Blascon Paint worth 100,000 shillings. Get a scratch card and SMS the code to 7197. Not only will you win instant airtime, but you could take home 1 million shillings daily, a share of 4 million shillings each week, or a brand new motorbike with fuel worth 100,000 shillings. Terms and conditions apply. Blascon, color your world.
Living a safe life is your right and responsibility in our communities.
They should have an eye checkup once a year.
First activity that we conduct is getting these young girls or women from the danger that they are facing and bringing them into this home.
Most people, the skin doesn't go off. It stopped renewing itself about 5 years ago. We make sure we follow the skin cycle.
Join me, Ishime Kathy, every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. as we discuss matters of safety in our lives on the program Safe Life.
Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the